Greetings. Welcome to the live stream from hell. It is hot. It is humid. And I'm in a van. And usually it's not this bad, but our humidity jumped up to about 100%, and our temperature's been at 90. So for you guys that pay attention to Celsius, it is 33 C in here, and that's the coldest it's been since about 12 o'clock. It peaked that, and then it's been hotter. I saw it as high as 36. And then I was able to get it dropped back down by cranking on that fan, turning on the engine, running the AC. But it's wowzers, folks. So you guys in the opportunity to have nice, cool houses, how is it there in your nice, cool houses?
It's expensive.
Expensive, yeah. Okay. I did hear on Matt Walsh's show today that air conditioning is now racist.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Okay. All right, air conditioning's racist, I guess.
Apparently, everything created by white men is racist.
Well, you know, well, okay. We don't want to start the show there. That's crazy. But in case you see, I'm drinking lots of water and
watching it leak out your skin.
It might. And I actually have a washcloth back here. So if I do this throughout the show, just know it's because it's so hot in here. It is all pretty much unbearable. So the show must go on. And when I do my other show tonight, I can take off the extra shirt. I could probably take it off today. But hey, it's the branding. Why not? We'll just go ahead and keep it. So anyway, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying myself.
Very good. All right.
I brought in the firewood for the next winter, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to when I can head west where it's less humid, and when it's less humid, just find some shady spot and things cool down pretty quick. So that'll be good. But I'm probably staying out here at least an extra week because I am about to publish another book, and I would like to get the big box of books shipped to my mailing address here rather than ship it here and then ship it again. So I'll end up staying an extra week or so longer than I had initially planned. But, hey, such is life. Hopefully it starts to cool down a little bit. But I guess it's coming into September, so it should hopefully, unless, all that global warming is, coming to get us all and whatever. So today, though, on our topic, we're going to talk about Linux software for entertainment. So I hope everybody has some good ideas. Let's check in on the comments. Manosha Kosha's here. Linux is love. Love is all around me. I am love. So is God love? Is God Linux, rather? Because, God is love. Linux is love. If Linux equals love equals God, then Linux is God. Ooh.
Whatever operating system God is running, there's only one.
It runs at God's speed.
Well, we know that the Amish actually run Linux, Sparky Linux to be specific. Okay, Zhang, thank you for that super chat. Always appreciate that. You mean you're off med? Wait, what? I am off meds. Yay! I did have, as soon as the first day I moved into the van, I got this horrible headache. And I had a sneaky suspicion it was from an infected tooth. So I go out to the dentist, and indeed there was a tooth that needed a hole filled. And so we filled that up, but I had these horrible sinus headaches. And I said, I am 90% sure this is bacterial. He says, you seem to have some medical stuff background as well, which he knows. He was my dentist all through grad school and stuff. He's like, I agree. X-rays seem to show something like that. So let's try an antibiotic. I took 2 weeks of an antibiotic, and I feel great now. I think I got off of that last week. I started doubling up on the probiotics and stuff, and I'm feeling great now. So that's good. So I'm off my meds, and which is good. We're there now. So
I just keep getting more. Wait till you get older.
Yeah, I'm going to refuse the getting older meds. If it's some permanent thing, no. I'll just let the disease take me. Okay, I know where I'm going. I don't need to hang around this earth any longer. I'll have a front row seat from heaven to watch what's going on down here. At least the good parts. Keegan, long time no see. Have you been on the road? I am moved out of the apartment, Keegan, and I am living in the van right now full time. And if you have not checked out the van life channel, Keegan, it is called Tux Traveler. You can actually search for it now. We have a couple videos, or owic.li/van will take you to it. I did post a video yesterday, or not, was it? No, 2 days ago. We did just kind of like a day in the life of van life and type video. It was a little longer than I should make them, and I need to invest in a like a gimbal camera holder to reduce the. It looks like this when you're saying it's actually a little annoying. It parts.
Go check it out. It's a very nice video with a lot of good scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very nice spot here, pretty close by. Actually, down the road from where I'm at right now. But and so with that, I will probably, assuming the footage is good, I will release the van tour tomorrow. Again, assuming the video is good. I've not looked at the video yet. I had somebody come by and roll the video for me, and I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So as long as that looks good, I will release the footage, the tour, the less techie tour, and then we'll get into some of the techie stuff. So anyway, Commodore fan, someone who had a family die in military service watching news today, depressing and infuriating. Absolutely. We need to get that buffoon. That buffoon needs 25th. And then the buffoon after that buffoon needs 25th, and then let's preemptively 25 the third buffoon in line as well. And then from there, I've lost track of who it is after that. But the first three people in line to run this country are all buffoons. So I need to. Oh boy. Anyway, catch the California short homeless story on Fox. No, I did not. I'm sorry, Fox News infuriates me. I don't watch it. It's bad for my blood pressure.
Put the Tux Traveler link in for you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. ISIS blowing up the airport in Kabul. Yeah. Okay. Vice President laughed about all of it. Well, our Vice President only laughs. Look at all these poor children dying. Look at these 12 poor Americans. What is this? The female candidate for Joker? Greetings, Moonbase Alpha Grays. I will be coming out to visit you in the Moonbase. I will be testing out the rocket thrusters in the van tonight. I'll meet you up on the Moonbase, and then I'm on the way to Alpha Centauri for a couple days. Let's see. More like a mental Yeah. Shamed to be a federal employee right now. The last thing I'm holding on to is that I work remotely, so I'm not required to get the jab. As soon as they force me, you're gone. Yep. 63 degrees there. Want to trade? It's still like 88 and 100% humidity here. It's still 33°C in the van. Yeah, depending on where you're going out west. Where I'm going out west, there is no humidity. Humidity doesn't exist. It gets stopped at the border of the state. AC at work, can't even keep up. 94 here with real feel of 107. Ooh, boy. The Amish use computers. Yes, there's a fun documentary that follows some, I forget the exact context of it, but it follows, there's a clip of it with some Amish guys, and he takes them into his business office, and he turns on the light, which is a lantern, and then he turns on a computer, which is running Sparky Linux. It's pretty sweet. Dennis always give you laughing gas and start asking questions. Nah, I don't do the whole laughing gas thing.
My impression is that the Amish are using modern invention if they have to, and only then.
Yeah. Email notifications will come now. Email notifications for the supporters did go out if you're on my email list. So I sent it out on the email list, and I put it up on the 3 support channels as well. Keegan just subbed to the Van Life channel. Very good. Thank you, man. Hit that bell. Yeah, that type of stuff YouTube really prioritizes. That channel already gets more views per day than my Christian channel, which has over 1,000 videos, and I do multiple videos a week. Go figure. Wallet Warriors just place taxes on you with no way to pay it. Yeah. Don't come my way. The weather is the same. 98, 100% humidity. Yeah. Harris was sued by a bunch of laughing hyenas for giving them a bad name. All right. right. Enough of that. Let's get into our topic today. So I want to do a more comprehensive video, the software that I use for entertainment. So I thought I'd go ahead and open this up for a supporter video as well. And I should grab a piece of paper to take a few notes on my end. And then I will compile my list of stuff and get the video out here sometime soon. I wanted to break this down into different types of categories and things. What specific categories should we talk about first? We could do like gaming that I know nothing about, so I'll have nothing to say and let you guys talk until you're done talking about gaming. Or we could do that last. I don't
do any gaming either, so.
We can do gaming last.
Do gaming last? Yeah. All right. Sounds good. How about movies first?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Dan, if you're watching a movie on Linux, where do you source your movies? Do you watch discs? Do you watch files? Do you stream? And what do you use to do that?
Okay, I stream a lot of movies through Hulu, Netflix, or Amazon Prime. Okay. I also use Tubi TV and some of the free ones. But as far as movies goes, I either do that or I use DVDs. I have a 60-inch TV in my living room. It's rather old now. It's only a 1K TV, 1080p. But I do have a computer on it. It has a DVD player in it also. But sometimes I'll just opt to take my Dell Studio dual core and go lay out on the couch, put some headphones on, and stuff a DVD in it, and relax.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Without having to turn on any more garbage than I need to.
Very good. Very good. So what software do you use to do those things?
Well, to do DVDs, it's got to be VLC. I can't find anything else that plays VLCs. And if you have Blu-rays, forget it. They just don't work on Linux that I know of. Okay. I've tried a lot of tricks and stuff like that, suggestions. None of the Blu-rays I got Farscape, the box set. It's all Blu-ray. It's a 25th anniversary box set. I only can watch it on the player that goes with the TV, a standalone Blu-ray player. It's the only way I can watch any of that. But I think with VLC, I found you have to add a plug-in to it in some cases to actually get it to bust out for DVDs.
Yeah, there's like Lib DVD, I think it's called. There's two of them.
Yeah, I have it in my notes. But you have to install that plug-in, and it'll behave just fine.
Yeah, I can do DVDs on VLC is usually my go-to DVD player, and also Kodi does seem to work depending on your system. So Kodi usually works for me, although my Kodi computer now that I use for that doesn't actually have a DVD player anymore. So, oh well.
Yeah, I tried Kodi once, and it seemed to be more upkeep than it was worth for the amount of media that I own.
You're breaking my heart. I love it. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. Well, you use it for a while, then it updates to the next version, then it updates to the next version. Finally, you got to take it all apart and re-update it and put it all back together again. And
yeah.
I don't know. I've had a few little tiny issues, but I'll talk about how I resolve those when it's my turn to talk. But so mostly you're looking at VLCs now. Streaming. I know a lot of people are interested in streaming type stuff. What browsers are you using for that?
Well, I right now I got 3 browsers opened, but with this machine here, I rarely reboot it. Maybe once a week. I just put it to sleep, and it turns off all the monitors, all the USB ports, and everything, and it boots back up in 2 seconds when I shake the mouse. Mm-hmm. It does that wonderfully. I use Firefox because you can get the DRM decoder thing for Firefox. You can't really get it for LibreWolf. It's kind of difficult. Mm-hmm. But I leave all the tabs open for all the services I just mentioned in Firefox at the top, and I put the computer to sleep, and it seems to be fine that way. Even lately now, if I close Firefox out, it'll bring them all back up again when you restart it.
Oh, good.
So So when I'm done watching YouTube or whatever on Libre Wolf and stuff like that, and I want to go over and use one of the services, I just pop up the Firefox, click on one of the tabs, and go to what I want to watch.
Yeah. Other streaming services. So Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. What are some of the free ones you were talking about?
There's Popcorn Flicks.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Popcorn Flicks, isn't that a like torrent-based site?
I think
So-
I don't know. I don't use it that much.
There was one that might have been, maybe it was Popcorn Time. I forget. But there was
Wow, they
one of them that was
redone it.
kind of torrent based. It may be illegal in some places, so I'd probably avoid that one. I think the one you're thinking about.
No, I have
don't
it
know.
open right now, Popcorn Flicks, and it's giving me a selection of stuff I can
Okay.
pick from and stuff like that.
Okay.
Another one is Tubi, Tubi.
Okay.
They have some stuff in there you can find to watch.
Mm-hmm. Plex
There's
has a free option as well. Decent movies in there.
Bflix.io is another one.
Okay. Is there an IMDb TV that's free as well? I think.
There are some of them that are like really mixed up URLs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're not 100% kosher, but they have all kinds of.
Well, the one I was talking about, I've been watching a show over here at my friend's house where I think we're using IMDb TV, or he might be doing Amazon Prime, but there's IMDb TV advertisements all over it. I've not heard of it otherwise, but seems legit.
One of them I found was www.bflix.io. It has old TV shows on it, like The Fall Guy.
That sounds legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful on some of these. All right. Anything else on movies before we wrap up and go over to Salbu?
There's www.actvids.com or vid.com. That's another one that pops up.
Okay.
That works. Some of these addresses were passed down to me by other people that use them. Like the B-Flix, and the one I just gave you. Popcorn Flicks. Some of these actually, Google will strictly just give them to you. There was one way out, RUL. I wanted to watch a movie called Flashpoint. It was a really old movie from the 1972.
Okay.
Google actually took me to that movie on a strung out, strange address, and it played.
Yeah, I guess one of the things is, be careful, use a little bit of caution with some of these. But at the same time, as long as you're not participating in distributing copyrighted stuff, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not taking these movies and giving them out to everybody. I don't even give out the addresses to the ones that I find.
Absolutely.
But if Google's willing to give me the addresses and they're out there and they're not doing anything to shut them down, it ain't my problem.
Correct. That's why, as long as you're not participating in uploading copyrighted stuff,
if I pull a
probably
dictionary
okay.
off the shelf and look for a definition of a word, it's there. I can't take it out.
Yeah. Salbu, what do you do for movies?
When I watch a movie, I'm using Kodi.
Cody? Okay.
Yeah, I have a large library, somewhat. But I also have a Plex plugin into my Kodi. The guys behind Plex, Plex is a proprietary solution that also works on Linux, but they make a GPL license and the plugin for Kodi in order for Kodi users to access either their own Plex libraries or someone else's Plex library.
So do you have your own Plex library or use somebody else's?
I use somebody else's. I'm not using any proprietary solutions. So,
That's right. Yeah.
But
I'm surprised you have the Plex app on Kodi, honestly, but
yeah, but
I played around with it, but I found it not to add anything that Kodi didn't already do. So I said, not worth it. If I want to watch something on Plex, I just
for locally stored content, there is no point to it. But my friend who lives 10 hours away by car, he has 110 terabyte RAID storage of almost completely jam-packed with
nice.
700 movies and 300-400 TV series and so on.
I know I did a video about how to create your own self-hosted Plex, which again, the proprietary aspects of it are things I don't care about. There's one called Jellyfin, which I was not actually able to get to work, but it's supposed to be like a full open source version of Plex. Maybe I'll play around with it again. Oh, you use that one?
Yeah, I have that.
Maybe you can help me resolve issues so we can see if we can get it to work.
Yeah, I use it I have tested it some locally, and I have just opened it using not port forwarding, but proxy, reverse proxy in my Apache server on my gateway to facilitate access to a few selected friends who I want to give access to my local library. So Jellyfin is my friend who has this big Plex server. He tested it and he said it's just like a Plex. The interface is almost the same.
So Kodi, do you use VLC as well or not?
Yeah, VLC I use when I'm watching something a DVD that where I need to test something.
I have found VLC is the most convenient to use if you're watching a DVD on Linux,
especially if you want the menus and all that to pop up and work.
Yeah.
But when I'm watching movie files or video files rather that don't have any menus, then I'm using MPlayer because I'm using I have 5 terminals open at any one given time, and I just fire MPlayer and the file name, and it pops up full screen, and
yeah. So I didn't pull up the website for VLC earlier, but VLC, most of you are probably familiar with it. It's completely cross-platform, Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS. iOS is nice because if you have like a server or something, you can actually download your material onto iOS. For some reason, you can't on Android. I don't know why.
iPhone.
Yep. So I've actually used VLC also for on iPad to watch movies connected to my local NAS. Plays like everything. In fact, it will install extra multimedia codecs. So
you might have
it's just so nice.
A non-free repository for some of the codecs.
Like on the downside, some people have talked about it as being getting too bloated and stuff, and maybe I agree with that a little bit too. But
one thing I tested a few years ago. And I was surprised that it worked. You can, if you have a new enough version, you can open a YouTube URL and it will play in VLC. So I tried that a few years ago and I was surprised that it worked. So
yeah, somebody's saying this. Jeffrey's saying, did the OBS crash again? Timer stuck at 9 minutes. No. I'm showing good stats on my end. I actually haven't dipped at all on my end either. So, So for movies and stuff, I don't generally stream a lot other than like YouTube or something, which I just use. I'm using Brave browser for my YouTube. And then for movies and things like that, I use Kodi. And the downsides of Kodi, as we alluded to briefly, some of those is sometimes things go out of date. Usually it's just like movie databases go out of date. So my one Kodi install, it doesn't pull thumbnails correctly. Sometimes doesn't add movies correctly. That just means that my movie scrapers are out of date. So push the updates. That seems to resolve the issues. I've never had a case where I had to blow the whole thing up and rebuild it. The other thing you can do is I've noticed that on Arch, the libraries and everything works a whole lot better. So sometimes I'll just have everything up to date. Like if I have a big library up to date to do, or I want to go through and patch all the thumbnails for all things, I'll actually export the library and then just re-import it into my other Kodi build. One of my Kodi builds is a Raspberry Pi with nothing but Kodi on it. The other one is my media PC. VLC I use for DVDs, and the other one I like right now, I'm on more limited internet, so I'll go to coffee shops, download a bunch of YouTube videos I want to watch later, and I'll just watch those on like celluloid, which super lightweight video player as well. So yeah, movies I get every bit of movies and whatever else that I want. Of course, I interface my movies with my my local NAS file server, so I don't have, if I had like 200 things like this in the van, that would be a problem. So I don't.
Where will you put them?
I own every movie that I have on board here, and I don't share or put those up online, but I just use them for my own private use, and so. But it's nice and handy to be able to do that. So there's movies. Let's go ahead and have a look at our comments on the movie section. Then we'll move on and talk about music next. Let's see. I don't know where I was.
The Kodi is that it opens, if you opt to do that, it opens a full screen and it takes over the entire. I like that.
Kodi. Yeah, Kodi is a full desktop environment. So if you have Kodi installed on your system, on your login screen, you have the option to boot directly into Kodi. So that is a cool option if you want that. And you can toggle back and forth. I oftentimes run it in windowed mode, so just hit the slash key. The backslash key is that'll toggle full screen and desktop environment versions. Peacock says they're free, but yeah, $10 a month for limited ads. There are some free movies and shows on archive.org. Yeah. If you want free pro wrestling, do a DuckDuckGo search for Watch Wrestling. That could be legit, I'm telling you. VLC can record your screen, but it records the highest possible quality. So, yeah. Roku boxes and sticks works for your house because you have family who are not great with tech. All right. Dabbler, how's it going there? I am good. Mighty Streaming, ISP gave him hell for a popcorn site. Yeah, and I don't remember which one, but one of the popcorn sites was actually a torrent-based site. So technically, in many jurisdictions, that would be illegal. So you have to make sure that whatever site you're using, you're not using one of those. Your ISPs might shut you down for something like that.
Okay, on a torrent site, you don't get to watch the movie. You have to download the whole thing first, don't you?
No, there was one of them that was a streaming based site that was all based on torrents. It was highly illegal in the United States, but it was.
I mean, it's like you get the first 10 minutes of it. What happens if you're missing 3 minutes here and a minute here and 10 seconds there because you haven't got it all put together yet?
Yeah, most known it's shut down now by some police agencies somewhere. But the most it was the most popular one when it existed was. A site called Popcorn Time, which did that. It was a torrent search something, and when you click to play something, it started fetching the torrent and in correct sequence, and it started playing. And when you were done playing, it didn't store anything.
It grabbed the stuff as it was building the movie as you were watching it at the same time.
Yep.
Wow, that's kind of complex. What happens if it wants to grab a piece of the movie and that server's not online today?
Well, I'm sure it'll work just like the other torrent sites. It'll grab pieces, put things together, only it probably stays buffered ahead of itself.
Yeah, but those kinds of sites have in many jurisdictions have been some courts have decided that this type of watching is not legal.
Yeah, that's why you have to be careful on some of those. Anyone use MPV? Yeah, MPV and celluloid are very similar. If it's built in on the system, I don't intentionally install.
I think MPV and celluloid are just, one's a GTK skin on it, the other one's a different skin.
I believe that is the case. I think there might be one other little tweak. Again, when you talk about the super lightweight players that are built in, I don't bother installing them. I just use whatever one's built in, you know.
That's what I do.
So I think almost every distribution has that. It's one of the few things Elementary does have, you know. SM player, there's another one. Yep.
Another thing I wanted to mention: if you're using Amazon Prime, okay, if you are disabled or if you are a senior citizen, you can get a decent discount on your monthly membership.
Yeah, there you go. Commodore 64 has a USB TV tuner on the main PC for picking up local over the air. That's good. Yeah, those are good options.
Yeah,
anyone know of any other media player that supports AOC TV tuners besides Caffeine? Over the air, no, but the network-based ones, Linux Mint now has Hypnotics, which is web-based stuff.
Yeah, and you also have Mist TV, which supports a wide variety of inputs and for live TV. So that's worth checking out if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to music. So Dan, we'll jump back up to you.
With me and music,
and I know this could go for a while. So
no, I'll make it real simple. With music,
I'll fill up my water.
It's more about the hardware than it really is about the software. I prefer Clementine. I like Clementine a lot. You just pick the stuff you want it to play, and you make your own playlist and play it. And I also use MPV or the celluloid for single song plays. For example, I bought a record, London Grammar, and it come with a coupon in it to download all the songs in waveform.
Nice.
So it gave me a big zip file with a bunch of waves in it. I open them up. I start playing, and they got pops and clicks in them like they recorded them off a dirty record. So I just spend about 4 hours with Audacity going through and removing the pops and clicks out of it.
But so they put that in there to give you the authentic record sound.
You know, how cheap can you be? You know, that's the first time I've come across something like that. Yeah. But you know, outside of using them three pieces of software, I have this nice little MP3 player here. It's ancient. It runs on Linux also. It's an iRiver H320.
Nice.
It's on its third battery. This is a Cameron Cyro brand battery. This is the second Cameron Cyro battery that I've purchased for it. It originally came with some other brand. The original one was a 1,700 milliamp hour battery. This one's actually an upgrade. It's 220 milliamps. And they give it to you in this little baggy box thing. I was surprised I ordered this from Amazon. And this battery still works. It still will run for 3 hours. It's just that when you charge it, it doesn't go to 100% on the player set for a 200 or 2,200 milliamp hour battery. So I put a new battery in, and it runs like all day. Another device I like to use, this is actually a Bluetooth transmitter.
Yeah,
you plug it into any 3mm jack device. My computer goes right in the headphone jack. If I want to use Jethro Bodine out in the living room, we have to go from a 5mm to the 3. Yeah. There I have a Bluetooth transmitter, and I can walk around the house with these on. And that's pretty cool in itself. Now, these are a no-name brand transmitter. It's also a receiver, too. You just flip a little switch on it, and it'll go either way, transmit or received. And they are of the latest Bluetooth standard, so the sound quality is really good. But Those are like the music devices. Of course, everybody knows I'm into vinyl records. I have a vinyl record on top of a record player on top of a Pioneer 1250 that puts out megawatts that bring the police to the door.
Do you hooked up to your computer and record records with Linux?
What I do is I take one of the laptops out. I prefer the Dell because it has a crystal audio chipset in it, and for the time that was the best audio chipset on the market for a computer. And you just plug the line out from the receiver into the laptop computer, and you fire up Audacity and set it to record, start the record, record the whole one side, put it on a USB, bring it over to the main machine here where I can look at it real good and chop all the songs up. And that's how you do it.
So Audacity, there you go. There's the software we're looking for. We're looking for what software we're using here. So
now back to Audacity.
Be careful of Audacity, though. Yeah,
Audacity has jumped up to their 303 that's got supposedly all the garbage in it.
Yeah, so avoid
and it's
that
on
version
FlatHub too. I couldn't believe that they changed it at FlatHub.
Yeah, we're losing the war here. We're losing the war. But we must fight.
The last clean version was 3.0.2. Now they're up to 3 with the garbage in it, I guess.
3.0.3 has spyware, effectively. Not like super bad spyware, but they're trying to do telemetry and stuff like that, so it's something to keep in mind.
I don't know if they left the Linux version alone and did the Windows only or not.
Yeah, I don't know. There was another software, OpenShot, the other day. I was experimenting around with OpenShot. Apparently, they put telemetry in at some point in time. I was trying to run it. It wasn't running on the Flatpak. I ran it through the terminal with the verbose to see all the errors. And there's actually a telemetry grab, which is grabbing your OS and a bunch of other statistics and sending it back. Now, it does a final check to see if you have authorized sending such information back. So, in theory, there's a toggle. But the problem I have with the way they did it is it has all the information collecting in the code, and then it allegedly only sends it if that stuff is enabled. Well, they should have it programmed the other way. Check first if it enabled. If it is, then run the program to collect data. Otherwise, they could be collecting data onto a file and keeping it local, which
you see, that's dirty pool. That really is. And them packages should automatically come with a disclaimer when you download them from somewhere. Especially if you get them from GitHub, it should be right on there, the GitHub site, where it's advertised.
Okay.
Or they should just not put them out. As
a quick aside here, Renard asks what USB microphones we use with Linux. So what is everyone using?
I'm using a Blue Yeti. It seems to be blue and a Yeti, and it works.
Okay, very good. There's a Blue Yeti. Sabri, what are you using?
I'm not sure what it is. It came with the new system that I bought.
It's a thing.
Year.
It's a thing.
It's a USB microphone. And it's, I can check quick.
I'm not using a USB mic. I'm actually using a microphone with a full professional microphone. With if I can get it over there, I'm dropping stuff. With
you
an audio
got one of those.
Yeah, so I have a full audio interface with
microphone.
Yeah, so it's really good. Really nice when the guy drops stuff on my thing.
My God, is the YouTube timing long? The delay. It's just showing on YouTube when I held up the battery and it's a little baggy on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is it that delayed for everybody? Oh, well. I'm not noticing any problems on OBS. Everything says it's streaming as correctly. I don't know. Maybe YouTube is watching everything before it pushes it out live. They got like a 5-minute delay or something. Yeah. So I also used a Samsung Meteorite, which was actually a pretty good mic as well.
Yeah, you used that for years.
But yeah, eventually it broke. Mark, how's it going?
It's a decent mic. Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. What are you using for a mic?
Using JLab. I thought we were doing entertainment. We're not?
Yeah, but somebody asked what USB microphones we're using with Linux.
I'm sorry, I'm so late. I'm using a JLab Studio mic. I was in the middle of a build, finally finishing it up. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah. All right, Selby, let's jump down to you for music stuff. So, Mark, we're going to get to you in a minute here, Mark. We're going to be talking about what software we're using for music. So, Selby, you're up.
Yeah, for my everyday music playing, I use a software called Audacious. It is a fork of the old XMMS player. It's a Winamp lookalike clone. Because I started using Winamp 20 years ago, and I like the interface and how it works. I'm still using that interface, and this player can even use old Winamp plugins. So I have a Star Trek L-Cars skin for, so it looks like a Star Trek interface something. But like Dan for one-off song, I use a command line player. In my case, I use M player, and that is the tools that I use for playing music. When I need, I tested 15 years ago, and again 8 or 9 years ago, I tested in KDE. There is an application called Amarok. Which also has a fork called Clementine. It is a library, music library manager type of. But in my case, I found it to have too big resource hog when it wanted to manage an update. So in my case, I didn't like that type of, so I stopped using it.
They used to have, I don't know, there was a developer that forked Clementine and made another one called Strawberry that was more lightweight than Clementine. I haven't seen it around lately.
And as for, I also still have a CD player or a DVD recorder, which also plays and records CDs. And I use that to, because when I buy music, I still buy music, but I insist on buying a physical CD. If I can't get it physical, then I'm not paying for it. I would rather rip it from YouTube, which in my country is still legal. We don't have to get into that.
I buy physical vinyl.
Yeah, the reason is that having a physical copy, then it is yours to do with what you want. But whereas if you downloads from Apple's iTunes and from all the others, often they have a clause in the terms that says that they are licensing your use of it, and so it's not yours. And yeah. So
I simply keep a copy of the receipt.
Yeah. So the CD player in my machine, I use that for ripping CDs, and the software that I use for that is something that I am the upstream developer for. It's called Grip, GREP. It was made by I don't remember his name at the top of my head, but
that the ripping software.
Yeah, that's ripping software, and it is in my opinion the best for Linux, the best ripping software.
I think I'm using Ripper X, but that's on my other computer, so I don't remember exactly what I'm using.
Yeah, and I started noticing that in 2015 or so, that Debian had removed it in 2008, I think. Because the creator stopped developing it, presumably because he no longer needed it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking that if someone doesn't step up and try to update the thing and maintain it, then more distros, and in my case, Magea would start dropping it, because keeping it up to date with patches and so on would become too much work. And yes, I've been maintaining this now for 6 years.
CD Juicer is still available, and that's a ripping program.
Yeah, I think I have Ripper X and CD Juicer on my other ripping computer. I just don't remember exactly which one I'm using. I don't exactly rip CDs a lot, but
yeah, I'm lately been burning them instead to put them in my vehicle.
Okay.
Mark, let's go up to you here for interest of time. Let's know what you're using for music and such. Music, like software you're using for music.
Okay. I don't really rip CDs or listen to music per se anymore in the way that I used to. I have CDs that I would like to rip, and it's like a lot of other little things that I wanted to do. I've never got around to doing it, but when I eventually do, I would assume I will use Sound Juicer or Asunder.
Mm.
And as far as media players, just playing audio back or playing music specifically, I have Lollipop installed because I love the look of Lollipop.
Mm-hmm.
The UI of it is nice and modern and clean still. But I probably prefer Qoid Libet, or however you say that, Qoid Libet or Libet.
Yeah.
It is specifically good for cataloging music.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have several CDs that you want to rip to your computer, and you've got the means to do it in like large quantity, there used to be a way to do that to where you could put like several discs in, hook it to a computer, and rip it to your computer like quadruple. It would save you way less time. And I would love to do that, at some point.
Mm-hmm.
If I had that, that would be really cool. But I use Qloid Libet. And
Yep.
while Dan, I'm seriously thinking about purchasing some vinyls and getting a player, because it is a sound that I particularly love. I love that sound profile. I love the little crispness of the record as it plays, the little sound that it makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do decide to go with vinyl, don't get a cheap record player, and probably the most expensive piece in it would be the stylus.
Yeah.
Or the cartridge and the head shell. You may want to go modular. Them suitcase ones with the all-in-one things in them, they really don't work out that great, and they don't usually sound that good.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: they don't come with the cheap ones. Do not come with a diamond stylus. They come with a ceramic one.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's good to know. I want diamond if I do that.
Yeah.
The diamond stylus.
You can spend over up to $1,000 for a cartridge and stylus.
I'm sure you could, but I don't.
Is that a blood diamond?
You can get something from LP Gear that's made by Audio Technica, about a $45 or a $29 one. Joe Collins could probably steer you into a good price stylist.
Yeah, probably. He is still alive. He commented on my video today. So
cool. Good
to know Joe's around. He didn't like my video, but that's okay.
Now you're talking about the Joe Collins of Easy Linux, or the other?
Yeah,
Easy Linux.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just I just think that that system snapshots are kind of a waste. He's like, I used that just yesterday. I'm like, that's cool, and I just find it more convenient to just wipe. If I have a problem, I just wipe it and reinstall the operating system on snapshots.
Yeah, with Linux, I mean, you can be up and running.
Yeah, and it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice. I think it's better if Linux Mint includes that, and people like me don't use it. But just catching up on some of the comments here. Kid 3 for music tag editor. Dan, you use something different, right?
I use Kid 3, also Puddle Tag. I prefer the MP3 tag from Windows, and that will run and play on Linux just fine.
Okay, all right.
I use something called Easy Tag.
Sometimes if you're dealing with all the media that goes into an MP3, you need a bundle of these things, because not all of them will show you everything. Like Kid 3 will show you hidden stuff that shouldn't be in there you need to remove.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing, because I like clearing stuff out. And I don't know of anything really that I need that's missing from Kid 3. That's why I like it. It works well with my setup, but yeah.
I like go big or go home.
Yeah, my old favorite media player was Banshee, but it's sadly discontinued.
See,
I just like
I
the
had a
look of
problem
it,
with
but-
MP3s where a lot of people like to have the album art in their MP3, and you can
Yeah.
put your album art so it shows when you're playing it. But there's some players, including the player that's in my truck, because my truck has a USB port, and you plug the thing in, and it'll play your USB music. It will not play MP3s that have a album art cover that's bigger than 1 kilobyte or 1.5 kilobytes to be on the extreme end. If you go larger than that with the album art, which is usually 1,000 by 1,000 album art stuff, it'll say something like ID tag error on the display and skip right to the next song.
You know, I used iTunes for years when I was still running Windows. It was really good. I mean, surprisingly, to burn CDs and stuff. And a lot of people, used other stuff, but somebody had turned me on. Said, you know what, I use iTunes, and it works really good for me. And I started doing that, and I ran it for a while. It's proprietary, but they really did make a good software for that. iTunes back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate
Yeah,
it.
I purchased a lot of music from iTunes just because their catalog is much more easier to sift through.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be DRM free now.
Well, yeah, you pay for your song or your album and
Yeah.
you download it, and iTunes actually has a converter to convert it from their format to MP3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, there's just so many things you can do. Of course, iTunes, I don't know of a way to get it to run inside Linux, sadly.
A virtual machine.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
Use
when
a Windows.
You need to, when you create a podcast link, you need to with iTunes podcasts, you have to verify and log in with an iTunes account, and so I just install it on a Windows VM, do whatever it needs to do, and then I roll the machine back.
Here's another secret too. You only can have 5 iTunes accounts opened on any machines. So if you have iTunes on a machine and you throw that machine out without unauthorizing the iTunes on it, it will actually eat up one of those, and you'll have 4.
Oh, fun. Good to know.
Yes, so you can. I got one time to where I only had 1 left, and I had to go around to all my machines that had a window hard drive in it and deauthorize all my iTunes.
You should be able to
things I
have
had.
a central Apple account where you can log out. Like Google does that for security. You can go to Google and you can log out of everything or log out of specific machines in Google.
Yeah, but it keeps track of how many of these things that you got and the
Yeah,
serial
you should be
numbers
able
or whatever.
You should be able to decommission them, though. Is the thing. That's what
That's what I'm
talking
telling you. Is you have to decommission them from the machine that you have it on.
That doesn't seem right. Seems like we're missing something. I don't know, but I haven't.
I
played
might
it,
be
so I
missing
don't know.
something, and I just panicked because I had like 1 left.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I did some reading about it on the internet.
Yeah, for me with music, I don't really use anything else specifically out of the things we already mentioned. VLC, celluloid, Kodi. I have Lollipop installed on one of my machines for the simplicity and streamline of that particular machine. And I can't remember what I put on when I rebuilt my Linux Mint machine. I might just, let's see. Maybe I didn't even investigate what music player's on it yet. I don't know. I'll need to think about that. Tell me a music player I should use.
Did you deck out the van stereo?
Well, I mean, which van stereo?
The one in the van that came with it. Did you upgrade it?
No. That one's actually pretty good, and it has the USB input. So I literally put every piece of music that I have on one tiny USB port, put it in there, and I never have to change anything.
Ain't that so cool?
It's
the first feature of my vehicle I fell in love with.
I can't get it to run playlists correctly, and I would like to, but I don't know. Maybe I'll experiment with it some more.
Folders. I give a folder a given name.
That's what I'm going to have to do.
And then I give the genre that name when I'm actually assembling the
I
folder.
don't really care what genres are. I don't use genres, but yeah, that's
But
cool.
I'm
But
sure
no,
if
the van, the back, like the house stereo setup. This is really nice. I'll do a whole video on it at some point in time, but I have 4 speakers all built into the wall. There's 2 of them are, I think 2 of them are 8 ohm, 2 of them are 4 ohm, I think. I can't remember all my stats off the top, but I put them in, I think I put them in series. I can't remember. But I put them in series, and that feeds up into a Kinter. It's a Kinter MA 170 Plus audio amplifier. So it's a 2-channel audio amplifier, and then I put a ground loop isolator on that to make sure it's not picking up static from all the other electronics. That feeds into a 4-point switcher. So I just basically have 4 buttons up here, and whatever the computer or device is, I just push the button, and that's where my audio comes from. So it's a really neat setup. I thought of it long before I had the van, and I actually bought all the components and tested it. But so it's really nice because the last one is my main media PC. So that's the one that's usually on. The next one, the one we're on now, is the streaming PC. The next one is just a spare port, which is connected to a small MP3 player or my MP3 player phone or any other random device I'd like to plug in. And then the last one is actually my Kodi, my Kodi Raspberry Pi, so I can plug that in. Okay, can I show the setup? Turn the camera around a bit.
Sure.
No, because the lighting is not conducive to that. I will have a whole separate video where I will walk through every bit of it as one of the crossover videos about the two channels.
Speaking of the
I got to work on my lighting too. It doesn't do this picture any.
Yeah, like the lighting is fine for what you have, but we're talking about having to go behind the lighting, and then the fact that right now my van's sitting at an angle, and I don't not want to dare touch the DSLR camera because that's right now it's if I move around it could fall, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But stay tuned on the
cars.
channels, StephX, and you will see it soon. Good, somebody.
Yeah, you mentioned your or there was talk about the car stereo and USB input. My Kia that I bought 6 years ago it came with the original stereo had a USB input down in the gear shift compartment. And I loved it because my previous car I had to install a separate or replace the old stereo. But the problem with that stereo that came with my Kia was it's a 2007 model. It played excellent, and there was no problem with the sound. But I have all artists in a separate folder, and under there I have the albums in their separate and so on. It treated every file as if there was no folder at all. So every song that started with 01, because I have the track number that's the first part of the name. Every 01 came in sequence, and then so I couldn't leave that, so I had to exchange.
Yeah. If you have not jumped over the van channel here, this is where I'll have the crossover. Like I'll have more van stuff over here, and then we're going to do some crossovers of all the tech stuff. I have a lot of weird, geeky, Linuxy tech in the van that I'll set up and have good lighting. But you can jump on over here, and I'll go ahead and put the channel link in here. Looks like we need 10 more subscribers before we can claim the actual channel name. So if anybody hasn't subscribed that was thinking about it, go on over and do that.
Yeah, I'll get subscribe.
Banana pie.
Get them bots
On
going.
both my channels.
Yeah. So I think I need to go and subscribe for my other channels. I will be doing a stream tonight on the Christian channel where we'll be talking about how to keep teens in the church. So we'll be doing that. So that will be in 1 hour from now. But we're out of time, guys, so we're not going to talk about games, apparently, unless we want to do, like, really quick, very, very brief summary on games. But gaming, possible on Linux and getting better. There's your summary. Steam,
Yes.
Things like
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
Dan,
Steam has gone out and fixed some games that had some problems because I got like like 60, 70 games that I run either on Lutris. Most of them are on Steam. And their new Proton has actually fixed some of the problems with the games, like squeaks and bad noises and all kinds of weird junk.
I wish that we had more native Linux games developed.
Here's one thing, though. I've never gamed on Windows.
Okay.
I've come to Linux as a Linux gamer with no Windows background games.
Dan, you use GOG, right?
Yes, and
how do you download those, and how do you run those?
Very carefully. Well, first of all, my internet is terrible with speed, and GOG sells their games in the traditional 4 gigabyte file size. So they're equal to DVD sizes. So, if you buy a game and it's like 30 or 40 gigabytes, you're going to have a whole bunch of 4 gigabyte chunks to download. And I just order up 4 of them at a time and try and bring them down overnight. If I wake up in the middle of the night and it's done with those 4, I'll ask for another 4. It's kind of painstaking. And Lutris...
And is it ISO files you get, or what are you downloading?
EXE executables.
Okay, so you're running these up either on Wine or in a VM.
Well, you might get. I can't remember. The installer's an EXE file. The rest of them follow what other suite works with it.
Okay.
I mean, I can look if you're really interested. I have the game.
Not right now because we're already over time.
I can give it to you in about a half a shakes of a land. They're bin files.
Mine's easy.
Bins,
Steam.
okay.
I just use Steam right now, and
EXE's the installer and the bin files. Here's the thing also, if you choose Steam games and they need to be updated, if the game comes out with a hot fix, you can let Steam run overnight and you get the whole hot fix in one stream and it installs it for you. If you get a hot fix with GOG, you have to download the whole game all over again if they don't offer an independent EXE file.
That's insane. Yeah.
That gets into be insane. But for that reason, I buy older games that are like, let's say 4 years old or older, that aren't going to get any more fixes.
Yeah. I noticed that, speaking of games,
but from GOG.
On archive.org, they have a vast... it's old games, but I'm not sure how new they are. But old games that you can play in your browser, and if they need some Windows emulation, they use an emulator which open, and so that's worth checking out.
GOG also has a Galaxy installer thingy that you can install if you really want to, but I think it's more built around for a Windows machine. So it's best just to get their downloadables and stick to older stuff that isn't going to mutate on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what.
And they're DRM free from GOG. Steam, they're not DRM free. They're married to Steam.
Yeah, that is the advantage of using GOG. So we're going to wrap this one up here tonight. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll come up with another fun one. Again, if you have any ideas, anybody has any ideas, leave them in the comments or send me an email, and we'll consider those. And with that, we'll wrap up here. I will be streaming on the Christian site. Let me go ahead and find you the link for that before we wrap up. And if you're interested in such things, then you can join us over there. How to keep teens in the church. Copy link address. All right, so there we have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And tomorrow, 9 o'clock p.m. with the weekly news roundup. Join us there.